Welcome to Let Me Know How It Is, a pop culture podcast about TV, movies, comics, and all things geek. We're reacting to all the news from Disney Plus Day 2021, formerly known as Disney Investor Day. I'm Zach Slater.
I'm Frank Melman.
This is Tommy Smithereens.
And I'm Clifton.
All right, so a lot of stuff to go through. Some cool announcements today. You guys want to start with Star Wars, Marvel?
Let's start with Star Wars.
All right, Star Wars it is. Frank says Star Wars. So, what was something cool Star Wars related that we're looking forward to?
I was impressed with how much information they gave us on Obi-Wan Kenobi.
All right.
With the pictures of the concept art showing that it's going to encompass more than just Tatooine. And if I'm not mistaken, when those concept arts had one of the Inquisitors, was I mistaken in that?
I didn't see that. Was he there?
Yeah. There's one picture of people coming off of what seems to be a starship from the Empire. Mm-hmm. And it's in front of two stormtroopers is one of the Inquisitors from Star Wars Rebels.
Cool.
Interesting. That is cool.
Yeah, so it brought a lot of speculations to how hands-on Vader will be, hopefully, or less maybe in the initial parts of the storytelling as to when it occurs. We also get a glimpse of Obi-Wan. I think he's been there for some years now because you see like the Jedi robe still on him, but it's clearly dusty as all hell.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So we got a behind-the-scenes video, short. It was about a minute long, so we still not a trailer, right? Still not official, like really like footage. We saw, stunt training and fight choreography stuff that Ewan McGregor is doing. But even though like that's kind of old news, like I'm still kind of just giddy about that.
Right.
that like he was to me the bright spot in the prequel stuff anyway. Like I thought like he was really awesome in it, and he's a very good like approximation for like young Alec Guinness, which I think is neat. So
right.
So I'm just excited that like he appears to be super excited from all these behind the scene things that we've seen about doing it. So
yeah.
Hopefully that means that he's seen some good scripts. And what we're getting is pretty cool.
Yeah. And they're bringing Hayden Christensen back as well. So he'll be reprising Anakin Darth.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know how extensive, it'll be we don't know how much Darth Vader will be in it, one. We don't know how much of that will be Hayden Christensen, another.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, like maybe we'll see Darth without a helmet and it's like scarred up Hayden Christensen. We don't know.
Yep.
We don't know what we're going to get. But I do think it's interesting that they're bringing him back to involve him again.
My theory possibly is completely unfounded, not based on anything. I mean, is he there for flashbacks?
Right, could be flashbacks.
You know what I mean? Like are we gonna get a little bit more stuff when he was his Padawan, and maybe some scenes and adventures and stuff like that we didn't get to see in the prequel trilogy, like that's my thought. I would certainly like to see that. I think that would be really, really cool. I think that you could sort of introduce and build off of the relationship in a little bit of a different way.
Right.
No, there's also the thought of what Kenobi alludes to in the original movies, in which he always felt there was good in him. But the way they leave it is there's no way conceivable that he would think that he's salvageable. But Kenobi's the one that brings the idea to Luke that there's still good in him, that you can bring him back from the precipice that everybody thinks he jumped off of, of being evil. So I'm hoping that this series maybe even elaborates on why he has that hope, because right now it's unfounded as to why he would believe that he's not totally lost to the dark side.
Right.
And your theory is that, like, as unfounded as it is, it would also require some de-aging. It would also require 20-year-older Obi-Wan to be mentoring a 20-year-older Hayden Christensen.
Or younger.
20-year younger Hayden Christensen. They're both in real life 20 years older now than they were at that point in time. But spoiler alert, they've brought back some characters and presented younger versions of a character who their actors are older now. recently. So they've done stuff with effects, and then there were some of those effects. An online artist went and did some experimenting with deep fakes to take everything that they had done in effects to show how, like, putting another layer of the up and coming deep fake technology could make it even more convincing, which he had done with shots like of Tarkin in Rogue One and Leia in Rogue One,
right?
Like the young Leia and Tarkin, who resurrected Peter Cushing, who had long passed, to reprise that role. So maybe, there was news also that that specific deepfake artist had been hired by Disney, had been hired by ILM or Disney or somebody involved to kind of work with them. Because I think, it was something where they saw we can go one more step in this visual effects ladder and make it that much better for not much more effort. Yeah, let's explore that option. So while your thing does require, it's unfounded and does require, extensive de-aging on two main characters, it could be possible now. It could be possible with current technology.
It does. Weirdly, I feel like in such a quick time, it seems like it's become kind of commonplace already. Right. And just as you were talking, it's amazing, but it's also kind of I feel like it's commonplace for Disney, because as I was thinking about it, I'm like, you get a lot of it in Star Wars stuff. Mm-hmm. You get a lot of it in Marvel stuff. Yeah. And I'm trying to think, other than Gemini Man, the Will Smith movie, I'm trying to think of areas where I've seen it elsewhere.
Yeah.
Well, we've seen it in The Irishman. We've seen it we've seen it in Civil War.
Mm-hmm.
What else?
Yeah, that's Disney.
We've seen it in Endgame.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think outside of this. All I think of is The Irishman and Gemini Man. Gemini Man's terrible though.
Yeah.
I think Tommy, when you were talking, you said the word salvage, and that kind of stuck with me, because that's another thing that kind of gets me excited about Hayden Christensen is, are we going to get to see him, this is a second shot at this character for him. And I think, to put it as nicely as I can, I don't think the writing was quite there for him in the first go around of things, and so I think it would be very cool that, that they could possibly, that there's an aim to kind of correct that. And, because he's a better actor than I think that some of us think he is from what we saw him playing off a blue screen all the time, right?
Yeah, because after that, didn't he do Leaper or whatever? The one
Jumper.
where Jumper, there it is. I said a Leaper. Okay, yeah, Jumper.
Yeah.
Quantum Jumper.
See, Leaper just works.
Yeah.
All right. So before we move on, any final thoughts on Obi-Wan?
Yeah, I wonder with how involved with. I'm sure they've announced anything, and they probably won't. But the thought that I had was, since they were making and this is not Star Wars, this is Marvel, with the Love and Thunder stuff, whether we would get a Padme, a Natalie Portman, anything in it.
Oh, right. Since she is playing with Disney now.
Right. Now that she's back in the fold, I thought, well, they'd probably do something along, just since they're bringing back Hayden, there'd probably be something along the lines of having her back as well. So,
yeah, maybe it could be.
That's a good speculation. Now that you mentioned it, I wonder if we're going to get an explanation why Ahsoka wasn't part of that whole journey as well.
Right.
True.
Oh, yeah. All good points.
Yeah, would also be interesting to see what they play with all those, especially if they go into the flashbacks from that era.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool. Yeah. No, I didn't think about any of that stuff. Those are excellent points, fellas.
Thanks.
All right. So, but let's stick with Star Wars. So, what else came out Star Wars related? Disney Plus Day 2021.
It's a lot to say.
Yeah. The irony is, I barely remember any of it. As far as Star Wars is concerned.
There wasn't a whole lot. I was kind of surprised because they did we'll bring this up later when we get to these other things, but I mean, there's a Marvel package on Disney Plus you can watch where they put a lot of this stuff together and you can watch it. It's a little 15-minute thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then they did one for Pixar, and I'm kind of, surprised and disappointed they didn't make a Star Wars package to put on there, because especially since they just released stuff recently for Book of Boba Fett, which wasn't this day, but was within the past week or so.
Right.
So it is close enough that I think
Which is
fits.
Funny to me that they didn't just save it for this.
Yeah.
Just make this even bigger.
Right.
Because I will say by and large, I think that last year's Investor Day seemed a little bigger just because, one, we weren't expecting it in a way, but I feel like you may hear this reoccurring throughout the rest of this episode, but I feel like everything that they put out was relatively short.
Yes, definitely.
Even for trailers, still relatively short.
And honestly, it was last year too, but there was just a lot more of it because last year, I think they kind of accidentally fell into being a big event last year.
Yeah.
And then everyone was kind of still at home too, but so they ended up accidentally making a giant virtual event when I don't know if they ever intended to.
Right.
And they covered so much more of the movies and other TV, not Disney Plus TV, but other TV and then a bunch of movies. And then this year, I think they were trying to recapture it, but then didn't realize how they did it in the first time. Didn't realize how, didn't quite understand how they got it right the first time.
Yeah, they didn't have the same happy accident.
Right. Yeah. That might have been what happened this time.
Well, so screw it. So it wasn't part of Disney Plus Day, but let's talk Boba Fett.
Okay.
Sure.
Really good, because it's close enough. It might as well have been today.
Yeah.
Sure.
So, yeah. Book of Boba Fett dropping soon. What did you guys think?
I thought it looked cool. I did think it was weird the tack that they were taking, the idea of, at least in the voiceover, of him being a lot more diplomatic.
Okay.
Kind of like, I'm giving you a choice to join up with me in this criminal enterprise.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And I want your respect, which is, you don't in most instances where you try to do that in criminal enterprise type gangster movies, that doesn't work out well for your main character.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, maybe it's just we're getting an older and wiser Boba Fett.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Digesting in the stomach of the Sarlacc changed him for however long he was there.
Possibly.
I was just going to mention that. Yeah, I totally agree with you, Clifton.
Has some time to think and reflect while being slowly digested.
Right.
Over the course of 1,000 years, remember?
I mean, I'm with you. I thought, I'm like, he's very chatty and eloquent for Boba Fett. And I thought what they might have been going for is he appeared to be talking in that way when he wasn't in the helmet. And then I noticed when he put the helmet on, everything became...
It was go time?
Short and terse and threatening.
Okay.
And then I thought maybe that's kind of what they're going for too. But the hole in what I'm saying is the one bit of physical action we get out of him in the trailer, he's unmasked for it.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And so I don't know, but...
I don't know. To be honest, I'm going to be on the side of the fences. I don't really think I was looking for this just because of the whole creation of The Mandalorian.
Right.
I thought it filled that Boba Fett void in which you have the masked assailant with a high skilled purpose on his own agenda. It just felt more Boba Fett than the Boba Fett we're getting now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, for sure, when Mandalorian was coming out, I was 100% convinced that's what Mandalorian was until I actually watched the first episode.
Right.
I was sure it was going to be they're just doing this is a soft Boba Fett show. They're just hiding that it's Boba Fett. It's going to be Boba Fett.
Right.
So I get what you're saying for sure.
Well, I mean, because the Mandalorian turns out to be the man with no name, which I thought, like you were saying, Clifton, I thought that's what we were going to get with a Boba Fett show, where it's kind of but people know his name, but with Mandalorian, it's even more so removed the fact that, for a while, they're we'll never see him without his helmet. And then, spoiler, you do. And when I remember, it's one of those things where, a lot of times people refer to Mando as his actual name, and I'm like, who?
Right. Yeah, I've had that. Yeah.
You mean the Mandalorian?
Oh, yeah, that's his name. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't even tell you right now if I had to what his actual name is. So that's why, that's why, again, I thought the teaser we got for Boba Fett was kind of interesting because, everyone sort of knows him in the galaxy.
Yeah.
It's a name that basically, again, if you're going instead of going with the man with no name, if you're going for the gunslinger or the established whatever, when Boba Fett rolls into town, something's gonna, either bad stuff's gonna happen or whatever.
Right.
I mean, that thing is going to be interesting. I think they're going to play against the idea of, this is both, people again, like that, I was surprised, this is Boba Fett. There's going to be choices, as opposed to, and again, it might just be with age, things have changed. They did add to Disney Plus though, on on the actual day, they did add the Under the Helmet.
Yes, they did put that up. Yeah,
the Legacy of Boba Fett, which I'm guessing, I didn't get to watch it yet, but I'm guessing it's going into the whole mystique of Boba Fett.
Yeah, I haven't watched it yet. I imagine it's kind of maybe to serve the purpose of like the Marvel Legends things.
Yeah, it could be
like bring people up to speed, just kind of recap and.
Yeah, but I think it's it's an hour or so long.
Oh, is it? Okay, yeah, I haven't watched that.
Yeah, it's a full on I saw the trailer for it and I saw that it was on Disney Plus, but with everything else that was on Disney Plus, I didn't get a chance to get to it yet.
Okay, yeah.
Because it showed like clips of like the holiday special and then other stuff, and so I think it's one of those like, let's look at the fandom behind it as why do people like this character?
Okay.
So yeah, Under the Helmet looks good, but it's again I don't know for sure what it is. So, but it's something they did add for the day.
Yeah. So it is up there. I do plan to watch that one. I'll check it out.
Okay.
I'm excited that the thread of it seems to be the power vacuum that's created with Jabba the Hutt dying.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
I think that's neat. Like, yeah, give me a cool, like, gangsters vying for power,
right,
in the Star Wars universe. I'm all in for that. That sounds great.
Yep. My only thing is, I just want us to get off Tatooine. That's the only thing. Like I would like to have a story set somewhere else than Tatooine. I mean, it's a galaxy, the Star Wars galaxy,
right.
Because again, it's one of the things where I know Jabba's reach. Obviously, we've seen what we've seen in Star Wars, and I'm sure in supplemental stuff since then that it's more than just that. But
yeah,
I wouldn't mind that if we got off the planet.
Yeah.
So
I will half agree with you on that. I think generally you're right, but I think one of the strengths of Mandalorian and some of the other stuff that they're doing is that they're at least kind of giving us like different areas of it. You know what I mean? And it's not like at least
other sand.
The set pieces look different, and like in the towns look different and stuff like that. And I think that that's fun.
Yes, this is a sand town further west, right?
Right.
This is a sand town further north, right? Gotcha.
No, but
this is Moe's Detroit. This is Moe's. This is Moe's San Diego. I get it, but at the same time, it's a universe. So let's have a story. It's set somewhere else in the universe. Is all I'm asking.
But I like the fact that you talked about the power vacuum within the underworld, because if I don't think people remember or recall, but the Empire didn't mess with Jabba. Like, they cut deals with Jabba. I think that bears worth mentioning as to how powerful Jabba truly was, to the sense that like he didn't have to work with Jabba by gift wrapping him Han Solo. He could have just ended him and just got what he wanted,
Right.
But I think it bears mentioning or even recalling that Empire didn't really mess with Jabba. I mean, they had to work with them in order to do things.
But they need to delve into that too, Tommy, as to why that is.
Yeah, the power set that he controls, or what exactly is it that was unattainable or unable to control. I mean, it wasn't able for the Empire to control, is what I'm trying to say.
Right. Yeah. Why did he have autonomy when others didn't? Is my question.
Yes.
So hopefully they get into it.
Yeah.
All right. So what else is out there? I think Andor, we just got kind of like a soft release date for it. Like, we know it's, I saw like third quarter 2022.
Okay. I hadn't even seen that, but yeah.
But nothing else for it. Like no trailer, nothing that I saw, at least anyway. But that is one I'm excited about.
Mm-hmm.
Weirdly, even though he's a character whose fate we know, I still kind of feel like that there's a lot of just sort of like, there's a lot to cover with him still. There's a lot to that onion still left to peel, and I still feel like it's still new and still fresh, and I could still be surprised just on if he's sort of our anchor through sort of the dawning of the Rebel Alliance and more of the inner workings of that outside of who we saw with Luke and Han and Leia and all that stuff. Right.
Sure.
Yeah. So, all right. So is that it for Star Wars though? Jump in if I'm messing.
I think so. It was kind of light on Star Wars, unfortunately.
Which is weird because we're not getting any movies,
Right.
Yeah.
Not for a bit, and then the non-Disney Plus news is that they pushed back the Rogue Squadron
Yep.
Yes, they
movie
did.
that
Patty Jenkins.
Patty Jenkins was doing. Yeah, they pushed that back. That's the only other news we've gotten. So we'll see what's happening with the Star Wars stuff later, I guess. Not yet.
I had heard with that. I think that it may be Wonder Woman 3.
Okay.
That kind of like that may be the scheduling of that. That was the reports that I saw of it, but that was nothing through Disney, obviously.
Right.
So all right. So where are we going next?
Let's talk about Limitless with Chris Hemsworth.
Okay.
I'm just joking. It was very short what they talked about.
What about it?
Yeah, no, it was very short for what was weird to me, it got its own like trailer in which you see it's a 6-part series in which Chris Hemsworth pushes his limits as to be a better person. But what's weirder to me is Aronofsky's directing it.
Really?
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
This is for Nat Geo, right?
Disney Plus / Nat Geo.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
At least if not directing, but he's a part of it because that's how the card of his name. I was like, really? Aronofsky's part of this? So I was like, okay, sure.
Let me know how it is.
Right.
Yeah.
So what's the? I mean, you brought it up. So what's the hook of it?
Well,
really quick.
No problem. Each episode deals with a certain part of his physique or mentality, or I forget the name of it, but it pushes it. It does a episode based upon that in which he's trying to bring himself to the brink of something and hopefully conquer it, if not be stronger from it.
Right.
But a lot of it's death defying. Like they see him dangle from a pole under I don't know. It's weird. I can't even describe it. It's just like it was like it's just him traversing like Iron Man stuff.
Right.
Whether it's deep diving or holding your breath or going into like cold waters. I was like, what are they doing other than showing him without a shirt?
That's all it is. I guarantee you that's all it is.
Right.
And when you watch it, you will wonder, why is Paul Rudd even trying?
Yeah, exactly. Right. Exactly.
I'm sure it's kind of like when they did when Walking Dead had that show for Norman Reedus that was called Ride. And it was just him on a motorcycle going places. I'm sure it's the same sort of thing, but I don't think Norman Reedus is taking his shirt off like Chris Hemsworth will probably be in every episode. But I'm sure it'll get a lot of hits.
Yeah. But I was doing that as a joke. I was surprised to see even up and even teased.
Gotcha.
Because we know you're really excited about Welcome to Earth with Will Smith.
Yeah. No, that's exactly what it's similar to. The Will Smith thing he did. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Or Where in the World is Jeff Goldblum or whatever it's called.
Right.
Yeah, right.
Like Earth is Weird with Jeff Goldblum or whatever they're calling that show.
Yeah, Earth is weird.
Yeah.
Earth is weird.
Earth is weird, man. I'm Jeff Goldblum. So
apart from the Nat Geo ones.
Right.
Yeah.
One that caught me by surprise was the was the one, again, because we won't talk about it very long, I don't think, was the one about the Predator show.
Okay.
That one I was very surprised by, like the idea, like when it said like in the time of a Comanche tribe.
Yeah.
And there's a woman who's at the head of it is trying to keep the tribe safe, and then also they have to deal with a predator.
Mm-hmm.
But the reason why I caught my eye more than anything was the fact that it's starring Amber Midthunder from Legion.
Okay. Oh yeah.
She played Carrie on Legion,
right.
which is my favorite parts of Legion was her character. Yeah. She's great. So the fact that she's in it, and it's not, I don't understand. Is it on Disney Plus? I mean, I don't see how it could be, but
okay, I can explain this one. Please
explain this to me, Clifton.
So this was part of the handful of shows that were part of the Disney Plus Day announcements, because internationally they will be on Disney Plus International. So, for our overseas, our international listeners, of which we actually do have a few, we hear you out there. You may be able to watch it on Disney Plus under the Star brand. So, like here, where Star brand, yes, like under here where Disney Plus has stuff under the Nat Geo branding, there's shows under Star brand, which here they run on Hulu. So
okay, so that's where we will watch it.
We will in America
sense.
be able to watch Prey, the new Predator show on Hulu.
Nice.
Yep.
This is what I'm confused. I thought it was a movie.
Or a movie. I don't know. It's on Hulu, whatever it is here. No, the film will premiere summer of 2022.
Oh, okay,
yes.
my bad. My mistake.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
And I saw, so it does have a director, which was Dan Trachtenberg.
Yes.
Okay.
From was it 10 Cloverfield Lane? That's hard to say.
I believe so. Yes.
Okay.
Okay. That's a thing that exists.
Yeah, it's definitely
that movie's not bad. That movie's pretty good. Actually,
okay. I've still never seen it. So.
Yeah.
It's definitely for like a Predator prequel. It's definitely an interesting concept at a different time than we would expect.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm intrigued.
Yeah. No, I absolutely am. I can't wait. It's 300. Apparently, it's like 300 years before. Like I guess before the time of Jesse Ventura and
Arnold.
Carl Weathers and Arnold.
Yes.
When all the governors are out there in the jungle.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
When the governors had
it's Governor War. Oh my God, you're right.
Yeah. When the governors had to take on a predator, that was a different time. That was a different time in our country. Yes, it was.
Bipartisanship was different then.
It was. It was very much. Yeah. Nobody had time to bleed in those days, Clifton. So, yeah, like I said, it was one of those. Again, it was because I had that moment of, and I was talking about it not on the show, but I was talking about it with Tommy about it. Was the idea that, I can only. I mean, granted, she's a wonderful actress, but I can only think that, what's his name, who's doing the Alien show, had something to do with
Noah Hawley.
Noah Hawley, yeah. I could only think that he was like, no, I have someone who's just great for this. So
it could be,
yeah. So again, look, it caught me by surprise because I thought, oh, that's cool,
right?
But yeah, it's an interesting premise, and I'm looking forward to it. So
yeah,
hopefully it's sort of the shot in the arm that the franchise needs, which is weird to say because it's not like it's been lying dormant. Like, no, I mean, it's got like there's been a lot of Predator stuff in the last.
Yeah, it never felt like it went away.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah, not really, but it's just like not like. But it has also been like frequently, I guess, like rebooted or soft rebooted, or like you know what I mean. Like all the installments don't, aside from the Aliens versus Predator, because it got one sequel. It just like none of it like really talks to each other.
No, it felt like it felt like it was kind of like the shot in the arm they tried to do before was kind of Freddy Jason it or Alien Predator put it together with something else.
Yeah,
But now it's one of the things where I guess has Marvel announced any comics for it? Because I know they're doing the Alien stuff now, but I don't know if they've announced Predator stuff.
I believe they did, and then I believe it was shelved.
Oh, okay. Maybe they're just going to wait a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I think I could be wrong about that, but I think I remember something to that effect last year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Very good.
So, but yeah, no, that was a nice little surprise and very cool one out of left field for sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, one last note on where they are. Apparently they air on Star Plus in Latin America. So that's where people down south of us can see it.
Not the Star brand.
Not the Star brand, no. They get their own channel there.
Ah, okay.
I mean, there's a few others that they announced in that pack, but like there's one called Rosaline that is they say a fresh comedic twist on Romeo and Juliet, which I'm interested because it stars Caitlin Dever. Who was in Booksmart.
Okay.
She's very, very good actress. I like her a lot.
Yeah, she's good.
Yeah.
The youngest daughter from Last Man Standing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
right?
That's what
she's great. Yeah. She's really, really good.
And Loretta from Justified.
Was she on that? Okay, I haven't seen that.
My God.
I should go check that out. Yeah.
She's so good at Justified.
Yeah.
That's what so good.
Gives it.
She's playing Rosaline, who is Juliet's cousin, who also happens to be Romeo's ex-girlfriend. So I think doing like a fun twist on Shakespeare, I think this could be really fun. I'm looking forward to it actually, because I do love all the stuff that plays with Shakespeare in new ways.
That should be cool.
Interesting. So what you're saying is Romeo has tried to go after the Capulets before.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Doesn't learn his lesson, does he, that Romeo?
Right.
No. Okay. I'm thinking let's kind of save Marvel for the end.
Yeah.
You guys want to hit the animation stuff?
Sure.
Okay.
Oh, I was going to bring up one more thing real quick.
Okay.
Before
Fire away.
Willow with Warwick Davis.
I was definitely going to bring this one up at some point.
Oh.
I was waiting. I didn't say anything because I knew Clifton would, so that's why I was like, look, I'll let him say it.
Yeah. But no, I mean, like, yeah, it's worth jumping on right now. Look, go ahead, Tommy.
I'm surprised all they gave us was the casting. I mean, Warwick is funny as anything. I mean, he doesn't miss a beat.
He's great.
Yes. And my biggest surprise is just the casting of that one girl from Solo and Falcon Winter Soldier. Yeah, that's her, right?
Erin Kellyman.
Oh, she's in it too.
Yes.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you haven't watched the video presentation for
I
it?
didn't. Surprisingly, for something, I was like, I was like, I really don't want to see anything about this because I don't want to, I want to see what they do.
Oh no, you can watch this though. You can watch this.
Okay,
it's safe.
yes. All right.
It's funny as any. It's really funny.
Okay, I'll check it out.
It feels like you're watching a bit from Life's Too Short.
Yes.
Oh well, then
that's exactly what it feels
you got
like.
me. All right, I'm sold on that. Then that's perfect. Okay.
So Life's Too Short was the movie. It was the series that Warwick Davis did with Ricky Gervais and Stephen Merchant, and at the time, like I always wondered, how did they all get together? Like how did this how did this show happen? It's a funny show. Go watch the show. It's great. But it did make me wonder, like, that's weird. Like, how did Warwick hook up with these guys? And like, why? Right. And then you watch this and you're like, oh, like his sense of humor is dead on with theirs. Like, because it just feels like he's doing a bit for Life's Too Short in this whole cast presentation segment. It is great. Go check it out. It's a lot of fun. But he does introduce the cast, and Erin Kellyman is in it, who's
nice.
We now know from Solo and Falcon and Winter Soldier, like Tommy was saying.
Any art or anything like that?
No, nope. He'd only introduced the cast.
That's it. Okay, because this was one.
His supporting cast.
One, because I have never seen Willow and don't know much about it, but also like before we set out to record, like I just saw that there was a Willow thing out for it. Like I missed it throughout all of my research and everything else, like getting ready for this. I didn't see any of it until like right before recording. So this is news to me. Yeah, I mean, what we know of it apart from this is that there is a Willow show coming this year, Disney Plus in 2022. It is a sequel series, so it's set, now 30 years in the future of Willow, I guess. At some point, because that movie was 1990, directed by Ron Howard. And so that's really all we know about it so far. Warwick Davis will be reprising the role of Willow. I don't know yet who or from the cast is or is not going to be reprising their roles. Okay. So, but hey, you got to be pretty jazzed though, right? Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, I'm definitely excited about it. I watched that one when I was a kid, a ton. Okay. So I'm excited to see it.
I'm hoping to be a grand wizard or a gigantic, powerful. That's a grand wizard. Powerful wizard. Yeah,
that's a totally different movie.
Words.
That's a really different movie or a different show.
Words.
I know.
But if you remember from the movie and what he was trying to ascend to, I'm hoping that he was aspiring at magic at the time. I'm hoping that he's able to achieve that. That's at least at the very little, and not just a pig farmer. All right, let's move on to Pixar, because there was some stuff here, some stuff again, like some of the other stuff this year. We had heard about it, but we're getting a little bit more about it. So to me, what surprised me was Pixar's announcing 2 shows that they're going to put on Disney Plus. One to me was a no-brainer because they already did it with Monsters Inc., in which we get a series concerning the effects of after Monsters Inc. But they kept going a little bit further with what's show called Cars on the Road, which reprises Owen Wilson and Larry the Cable Guy, Mater, and I can't remember Owen Wilson's name. Lightning. Thank you. And they're doing a cross-country trip. And that's all they would really say about it, other than they got the 2 lead actors' voices on it. This is kind of a plot that's sort of a duh. I'm actually, like, once it was said, I was a little stunned that this wasn't the plot of a movie that we had already gotten, but I think this sounds really, really cool. Yeah, I do. Yeah. I think that, like, this setup is just a natural thing for that world, and it's just I had heard that it was shopped as basically like the interesting characters that they're going to meet along the way in all the different places. I'm like, okay, this sounds great. Right. Now, that one seems fun. The other one that I was really more interested in was Win or Lose, in which it's going to be a short form animated series. And what they're doing is, I think it's showing I forget what, I want to say baseball team, but I'm forgetting what sport it is. Yeah. But they're showing, baseball. It looked like baseball, right? it's showing each episode is going to spotlight a character and do it from their perspective.
Okay.
Yeah.
So interesting because it runs the gamut of who, because one was the coach, another one was one of the players' little brother who's forced to watch the game but's really bored.
Right, like sitting on the stands in every game.
Yes. So as broad as who the character is going to be, I'm interested to see. Oh yeah, another one was the star player and how he sees himself on the team. And there's one where he's making the catch in which he's jumping seems like 100 feet in the air, where he's above everybody else, and all that matters is him. Okay. But that's the perspective aspect of it. Makes it tremendous to me.
This is the one last year when we closed out with what thing most excited us from Disney Investor Day. This is what I said most excited me. I actually I thought this sounded really, really awesome. And I still think it sounds great. So what I had seen for it was just like that one piece of art that went out for it. I guess like the the title or poster of it.
Right.
And the art confused me a little bit.
Okay.
Because I'm looking at it, I'm like, right. And so hearing you, Tommy, where you were saying the guys seems to be jumping 100 feet in the air. And I was like, is that kid flying in the poster? Right? I'm like, or is he standing on something and I can't see? It just sort of like the staging of it confused me a little bit.
So there is a presentation on Disney Plus now you can watch where they do talk to the showrunners of Win or Lose. And they do address some of it. It's kind of it's how they see. You're getting into the minds and feelings of how each of these people feel in the situation. So that's where some of that fantasy magical realism comes from. He feels like he's jumping 100 feet or the coach feels like it's a giant to the kids because it's such a big part of their lives. Or
so he is a giant in that picture.
Yeah, he's a giant in the picture, but that's how he feels to the kids.
Right.
And the kid, the younger brother that gets dragged to every game and has to sit in the stands in every game is kind of makes a world unto himself just in his boredom. It sounds like stuff like that is how each episode is going to go.
Okay.
This sounds great.
Mm-hmm.
And kind of interesting and cool that it's sort of, it's different territory for Pixar. This is a Pixar TV show that's not based on a property that had a movie already that was uber successful.
Right.
Right. It's uncharted waters for them a little bit. And I think that's cool.
Yeah. And just one correction. They're a middle school co-ed softball team. That's what the sport is.
Okay.
And it's leading up to their championship game, right? So the whole season is that week leading up from different people's perspectives, like Tommy was saying. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, sounds very cool. Okay, should we take a quick sidetrack to Lightyear, which was again also similar to Book of Boba Fett?
Yeah.
A trailer that came out very, very recently that puzzlingly was left out of Disney and Disney Plus Day.
Right. I still don't understand what that movie is. I've never understood what that movie is.
So the trailer, which I thought looked fantastic, I can't wait. I had heard it said this way, that it's when they created the character of Buzz Lightyear for Toy Story, they imagined that he was a toy that was connected to some massive property that had a major blockbuster movie.
Right.
And then so they said, so we're just making that movie now.
Okay.
Right.
Yes. Because they always described it so weird. This is a movie about the real person that Buzz Lightyear was based on. I'm like, I don't think there is a real person.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
It was.
That's where I was lost along the way. So it's Star Command, the movie.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
Gotcha. With Chris Evans.
Yep. We got some David Bowie music in the trailer, which is always welcome. Always nice to hear.
Yeah.
Anything else? You guys don't have any thoughts on it?
I mean, it looks cool. I'm sure it'll be fun. Yeah, I'm sure I'll see it. It's just one of those. At this point, it's kind of like, like you said, it's based on it's basically the blockbuster that Andy would have bought the toys from.
Yep.
So as you were saying, it's Star Command the movie, and again, my thoughts are still, will we see characters from the show that he had,
right?
Because we haven't those characters I thought were part of his backstory too, but
right,
I don't know. So we'll have to wait and see.
Well, our engineer had a fantastic idea too, based off of this. He's like, so does that mean that we're gonna get like a 50s Western show?
Possibly.
That's Woody and all of his stuff that they like introduced in Toy Story 2.
Woody and Jesse. Yeah.
There's a snake in my boot.
And I'm like, that's a fantastic idea too.
Yeah,
they should do that.
Yeah.
I would love that.
Yeah.
Like a 50s Lone Ranger TV show.
They probably will.
They'll get to it.
But then who does the voice for that?
Interesting. I don't know. They're going to get like Chris Pine or somebody. I'm just trying to think of Westerns, and Hell or High Water jumped into my head. I'm like, Chris Pine. There we go.
I think of, what's it, Michael Rooker?
Oh, yeah.
I'd love if he did the voice. Oh, yeah.
Woody, sure.
Make it a little bit gritty,
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It'd be a little gritty. Sure.
Yeah.
They would have had to switch his voice out for the toy, because you don't want, like, what comes out when you pull that string if it's a Michael Rooker toy.
Right. Yes.
I'm going to be laughing all night at what that would sound like. Damn it, kid. There's a snake in my boot. All right, so we got a little bit of time before we hit Marvel. So what else was out there? Are we leaving anything Pixar related out? Or did we hit it all?
I mean, Pixar, no, I think we did hit everything for Pixar. There is other animation coming from Walt Disney Animation.
Okay.
Baymax, a continuation of Big Hero 6.
Baymax, you're right. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Looks fun.
Yeah.
Charming.
I mean, I like the Big Hero 6 film quite a bit.
Yep. That one actually got a trailer. We should point out that that got a full trailer. Yeah, that's coming summer of 2022. So closer than some of the stuff that we're getting.
Oh, then there's one, the Proud Family.
Okay, right.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, there's a lot of people that love that. For me, I didn't grow up on it.
Right. Yeah, it was a little after my time, but I do know it was popular on Disney Channel.
Yeah, and on top of that, what's also amazing is I think they're getting the full voice cast that came with the original show back on for this.
Okay.
Yeah, which is amazing because for lack of not knowing, I thought the woman that played Sugar Mama is the mom from Family Matters.
Okay.
Oh, really?
I thought she had passed. Yeah.
Good old Harriet Winslow.
Exactly. Yes.
I saw some art also for Princess and the Frog was getting a TV series too, which I was like, that's awesome. Man, you dragged your feet on doing anything with that property.
Well, I mean, that was announced last year, like at least in just a blurb. It was announced last year. Now we're seeing like some art from it. And it's the thing about these is that this Tiana is the one you're talking about, and Zootopia Plus. They're being done by the Walt Disney feature, like Walt Disney Animation. So not Walt Disney Television Animation. So like all the stuff they've put on TV prior has been Walt Disney Television Animation. So this is being done by the more, I guess, prestigious Walt Disney Animation. Like who makes the movies is making this Tiana thing.
Oh, that's going to
So
look
that's
beautiful.
the big deal with that.
That's cool, then.
Yeah, no, that's
not
what
that
I was
the
looking
TV
for.
stuff looks bad ever. Their TV stuff looks great too.
Right, they do great stuff on TV.
Yeah.
No, that's the one I was looking forward to last year, as far as them expanding the property and just moving forward with it. With I think, isn't it a jump to an older Tiana? Correct?
Looks like
yeah.
I thought it was. I thought what I read about it said that it's basically now that she's, I guess, queen. Is that what it is?
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Was it Maldonia? That's what I thought it was.
Newly crowned princess of Maldonia.
Okay, there you go. So maybe it's, that's what I thought. I thought it was something to do with all that, but but it's cool. I'm glad they're doing it too. And it's, again, like you said, Zach, the idea that it took them this long to say like, oh, maybe we should do something with this.
Right. Yeah.
It's kind of surprising.
All right. So we got a little bit more to get through before we jump into Marvel. What else is out there? So there's a couple of straight to Disney Plus movies coming. Correct?
Yes. Yeah, that is correct. There are a few of those coming. Two are long awaited. One is Hocus Pocus 2.
Yep.
Which there are tons and tons of Hocus Pocus fans out there in the world now. Seems to be more every year.
This movie has become a juggernaut when nobody was looking.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, it's like how the Christmas Story snuck up to be like a Christmas classic. Like this is a Halloween classic now that people watch every year repeatedly.
My wife loves this movie.
She's not alone.
We've been together 13 years. I had no idea until last year. She's like, I love Hocus Pocus.
Oh, wow.
Like, what? This has never come up ever.
And the other long-awaited one is Disenchanted, the long-awaited sequel to Enchanted, starring Amy Adams.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
That's coming in fall of 2022 to Disney+. Enchanted is an excellent film on Disney Plus now. If you've never seen it, it is so much fun. From 12 years ago, 13 years ago? It's a while back. It is a while back now.
Mm-hmm. I have a silly question really quick. Sorry, I don't mean to put everybody on the spot. Is Amy Adams doing anything else with Disney?
No, but this is huge.
Not that I know of. Not that I know of.
Okay, because just what I've been noticing as we were talking, it didn't hit me until, but it's like, the girl from Solo and Falcon and Winter Soldier is also doing this.
Yeah.
Owen Wilson from Loki is also doing this. Right.
It's like the golden age of Hollywood when you have the actors locked into a studio.
Yep. Yeah. They just walk from one lot to the other.
Right. Yeah, no, I don't know if Amy Adams doing anything else for them. So
okay.
But this one should be fun. I'm looking forward to it. I really liked Enchanted.
All right. So what anything else out there?
So apparently there's a Rescue Rangers movie.
Yes. Yeah.
Of some sort.
Like it was mentioned last year, but not really much given last year. And we now have like a tiny bit more.
Right. The only thing we know is the voice actors, which is Andy Samberg and John Mulaney.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
And that's it. There was just there was a coffee stain like business card / little poster for them, like a flyer.
Well, in the video, they say that was the script they were given, and it was like a tiny chipmunk-sized script.
That's what it is. Okay.
It was hard to read, but they said it was very good.
Yeah. So that should be great.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I feel like last year, the only thing we ever heard was that like Seth Rogen was attached to do a voice, and they wouldn't say who, and everyone was like, "Oh, it's Monterey Jack." Yeah, that's what we do with Monterey Jack.
They're like, "What are you talking about?"
Right.
Keep this a secret. We know, guys. We know.
Right.
Do we know if so? Is this like a hybrid CGI and live action thing, like Garfield? Or
it is. That's how it's being described as an upcoming hybrid live action CGI animated feature based on everyone's favorite animated chipmunks.
Okay.
I was hoping for a stage play.
But wait a minute. How come Seth couldn't do Dale?
Because I think Andy Samberg is Dale.
Yeah.
Okay. Enough said.
Yeah. That's my guess. They didn't actually say it's John Mulaney and Andy Samberg. My guess is John Mulaney is Chip and Andy Samberg is Dale. That's just my guess. Yeah. It could be the opposite. I don't know.
Unless he's Zipper, that'd be just weird. But yeah.
No, what's her name? Gadget?
I'm sure she'll be in it. I'm sure we just haven't heard yet.
Oh yeah, no, I'm just wondering who it's gonna be.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, we don't have much information, but it is coming this spring, so it should be done almost. Yeah. So we don't have long to wait for it.
Oh, but I'm sorry, pulling back this topic a little bit. Zach, when you asked about Amy Adams, remember she just got released for being Lois Lane for so long.
Mm-hmm.
So that's probably it when we don't see the Snyder
jumping
cut.
Ship.
Yes, yes.
Well, that's okay.
Yeah,
I would have advised her to do the same if I was her representation.
Yes.
Maybe they'll let her play Megan Henry Cavill's Captain Britain.
You never know. You never know.
All right. So should we jump to Marvel?
Sure.
The main event.
All right. Let's do it. This is the big stuff for us, actually, because there were actually a few actual visuals of things that we saw. Yes. But first, if you like the show, you can check out all of our episodes on YouTube and letmeknowhowitis.com. Just please, however you find us, don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave us a review. And finally, if you want to suggest a topic, send it our way in the comments or in Twitter. Our Twitter handles are show's initials LMKHII. So, you know what? Let's start with X-Men 97 first.
Okay.
Get this one, and then we can.
It was the most unexpected.
We can do the remaining time on MCU.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, the X-Men 97 was the one that came out of left field. I don't think anyone was expecting that.
No. Not really.
I'm happy about it, though.
Yeah.
I'm happy about it. I can see the original show for what it is.
Right.
There's some episodes I think, would still surprise people how good they are. And then there's some other ones that are like, that it's not the best.
Right.
Sure.
But the show has maintained popularity through all this time. Still comes up in conversation, astonishing amount. So on one hand, it's a little shocking to me that some of these shows have waited so long to get sort of relaunch things from the 90s, especially since relaunch is kind of the name of the game right now.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I can only imagine it's got a huge, their view numbers must be huge on this show on Disney Plus. That's all I can imagine. Right. A lot of people are watching it there.
I think people just want to hear the theme.
Right.
Because that theme is amazing. The theme is one of the best cartoon themes for superhero shows ever.
I don't know. I would imagine that it probably had nothing to do with it, but the fact that the show had an art book recently, very recently come out, blows my mind.
Mm-hmm.
Still, you know what I mean? There's any number of fantastic, wonderful superhero animation that we talk about on a daily basis with each other on the show and off the show. None of those shows have art books,
right?
And this thing from 1992.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, the other thing to consider is and I didn't think about it till they made this announcement, but Hasbro through their line of toy stuff just put out a bunch of figures that were designed to look like video cassettes for the box, and they're cel shaded characters from X-Men, the old show X-Men 92, I guess.
Right. Yeah.
So they've done a couple so far, and they're planning to do more. But yeah, that was one, when at the time I'm like, oh, that's nice and nostalgia. But now I see it ties into what they're doing with the 97.
Yeah.
So.
And I feel like this one might not be far off because I do follow a lot of animators on Twitter, and one of them I saw a post where they were like, "Oh, well, I can now finally tell you what I've been working on all this time."
Yeah, there's a bunch of those posts too.
Yeah,
had a bunch of those posts.
So it's been in production for a little bit now.
Well, that's the interesting question for this whole thing. I think is what is it going to look like?
Right.
Because this is you're Disney now. This is 100%. It can't look like the 90s show, and it couldn't look like the 90s show today anyway.
Right.
Nobody, I just feel like nobody would be able to do that style anymore.
Right.
Yeah. Nor would they want to, probably.
Right. That's what I really want to see. I can't wait to see an image of this.
Yeah.
The other cool news is that it sounds like, original voice cast coming back.
Mm-hmm.
Gene.
The interesting little nugget of information is Allison Court, who was the voice of Jubilee.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Has said that she did not want to come back ever to reprise the character because she thought that the character should be voiced by an Asian American.
Okay.
Which is cool. So she is coming back, but not as Jubilee.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
She's coming back as reverse Jubilee.
Yeah. Bizarro Jubilee.
Bizarro Jubilee. Yes.
So stupid. Sure.
Maybe she'll be Dazzler.
Could be. Maybe.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
All right. So let's jump into MCU stuff.
All right.
And I'll let you guys drive from here. You guys tell me where you want to start.
And there is a lot.
Cliff, did you mention earlier that they had the 15-minute thing on Disney Plus itself?
Mm-hmm.
That basically sort of recapped all the Disney Plus shows and then showed you where they were going.
Right.
Yeah, because originally I saw everything on the internet.
Yes.
When it was released, and then I came home and then was able to watch the 15-minute thing. It's cool. I thought I liked the way they laid everything out. Sort of gives you a brief synopsis of all the shows and gives you the through line up until without the movies, obviously, but with the television shows so far. and then gives you a hint of where they're going with stuff. So
and a long Hawkeye scene. They do
and a long Hawkeye scene.
They do premiere one whole long scene from Hawkeye,
which was fun. I can't wait for that show to come out.
I actually skipped because I'm like, we're 2 weeks away from Hawkeye. I'm like, I can wait. I'll wait till
I did too.
I fast forwarded ahead on that part.
No
to
fun.
the looking ahead at the stuff
fun.
Beyond that.
Yep.
But I can't wait for Hawkeye.
If we weren't 2 weeks away, I would have watched it. But the fact that it's so close, I was just like, I'll just wait now.
It's a great scene. It was awesome.
I can't wait though.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
No, of course.
I think Hawkeye looks so much fun.
Yep.
Yeah.
It was good. But
and he's always been a favorite character of mine.
Mine too.
I just always liked his visual, even as a kid, before I was like really actually reading comics. I always liked Hawkeye. And then, and the show does appear to be taking some nods from the Matt Fraction and David Aja stuff, which is fantastic. I highly recommend reading that run.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, one thing is like all of the like promotional art that we're seeing for the show, like the posters and the images and the stuff they're putting online is straight from David Aja's art. Like he's basically like all of that's his design. So my only thing is I hope they give him credit and compensation for
of course
for the piece that he's contributing to this, because like what we're seeing, it wouldn't be there without him. So he's great. Right. That run is awesome.
Yes, it is.
And I am very much looking forward to the show.
Keep saying it. Everyone's gonna love Kate Bishop.
Yeah,
get ready.
I mean, Haley Steinfeld, I love her in everything else. I'm expecting to love her in this.
Yep.
And she'll have 2 shows on at the same time because the Dickinson 3rd season is also running.
Right.
And Jeremy Renner will have 2 shows on at the same time.
Yep.
Is it Mayor of Kingstown? Is that it?
Yep. I believe so.
Yeah. Crazy.
So we got kind of little bite-sized teasers for some of the other shows.
Yeah, it was I liked what we saw, but I did feel like it was a little stingy. I thought maybe there should have been full-on trailers for, what's supposed to be the big, especially in the time that we're in now, without being able to have like San Diego or big conventions. I think the idea that you're
longest one we got, besides the Hawkeye thing, was 39 seconds.
Right.
I think is what I saw, which was the Moon Knight one.
Okay, yeah.
Right.
And I was like, okay, yeah.
I mean, you do get some quick cut scenes in the end of the 15-minute thing, but it's not the same as if we were just given like a minute for each of the shows,
right?
On each of them, which I still think is a little bit too little, but at the same time, it's way better than 11 seconds, which is what we got for some of the shows. So, but of the 11 seconds that we saw, I thought. I think the only one we had any kind of sizzle for last year was Ms. Marvel, right?
Right. Yeah. They showed us a little bit of footage last year for Ms. Marvel, which I imagine it just started shooting at the time.
Right. So.
And they showed us very little this time around. And this one is actually pretty around the corner. I feel like.
I mean, it should be the next one out of the gate, but now it is saying it's summer 2022 is the date I'm seeing on that one. On the D23 site is where I'm seeing some of this recaps. And Moon Knight just says Disney Plus in 2022, and She-Hulk also just says Disney Plus in 2022. So those should be, I guess, the next 3 out of the gate.
Yeah.
After Hawkeye is what I imagine, since they are the ones we actually saw footage for.
Yeah.
And not just title cards.
Again, the fact that they put it, the fact that, that 15-minute thing literally is like the sequential of everything they put out so far. And then these are, I guess, like you said, these should be next.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So, all right. So let's pick one to land on and give our thoughts quickly.
Moon Knight.
So Moon Knight. All right.
I've been waiting for this one.
I was going to say, of course. Yes, go ahead.
I only chose it because it was the one in the first that they showed first in that trailer or in that presentation. Yeah, because it's Moon Knight and I love Moon Knight. So
I was going to say, right.
I mean, I'm excited. So it's Oscar Isaac. We've talked about it before. We speculated before on like there's different versions of this character. There's different tellings that focus on different aspects, and we were never sure which way they were going to go. We're still not from this. But they do seem to be playing with some of the split personality stuff. I think is apparent in this. What is it? 39 seconds? Is that what you said, Zach?
Yeah.
Yeah. In this 39 seconds of footage, I think it is clear that they're playing with that aspect at least a little bit, because we do hear the different voices, which are him.
He is a wonderful choice to play somebody to do that.
Yeah.
Right. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
right.
I cannot wait to see the flexibility of his voice and his mannerisms. And it, like, I mean, I just feel like we're going to see it. We all knew he was awesome anyway.
Right.
I think if anybody was still on the fence about it, they're going to not be anymore after they see this.
I mean, because Oscar Isaac, I know he seemed like he was done with franchise stuff. That was the impression I got from stuff he said after X-Men, after Star Wars, after the sequel trilogy. And I think he was just kind of like done with that. And then to hear, like, I didn't believe the rumors that he was doing a Disney Plus show because of that. I was like, well, like, what would get him to do this? And I think that's it. I think he was just like, oh, like, I get to do these, like, basically kind of different characters. Like, I'm in. Like, I'll do that. Like, I think that's what attracted him to it, would be my guess.
Yeah, I thought his voice in it sounded odd, but then again, I thought, well, maybe that's just one character's voice.
Right. I think that is it. Yeah.
I think so too.
Yeah, I didn't think it was just going to be, he'll switch from voice to voice as he's doing, each of the personalities. No, I thought it looked cool. I'm excited for it as well. I am on the fence about him, but again, I haven't seen as much of his work as the rest of you. So,
right.
You guys want a hot take?
Always.
Let me give you a hot take. I think once Moon Knight comes out, people are going to talk about that performance the way that people talk about Heath Ledger's Joker.
Okay.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I do.
Sure.
I really do.
Yeah.
Okay. Sure. Okay.
I mean, I do think out of some of the shows, like a lot of the Marvel shows have been straightforward, and except for WandaVision and Loki to an extent, but I do picture Moon Knight being kind of along the lines of like having WandaVision type reveals of like each week being like, well, what's going on now? And like, what could this mean? I do see stuff like that possibly coming out of Moon Knight.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I do think, again, like along with that, Clifton, I think it's very much going to be the idea of, is Khonshu real?
Yes. Yeah. Like, is this really happening? Like, is this stuff, is anything real?
Did he really have have the near death experience and meet the Khonshu, the Egyptian god, or is it all in his head?
Right.
So yeah. I'm looking forward to it. It should be very good.
All right. Miss Marvel, let's shift gears. Bright, primary colored, daytime.
Yep. I love the character. I'm looking forward to the show. I do wonder why we haven't seen her do any kind of hint at what her, like, again, I'm hoping it's the comic, but there's also, like, I've heard stuff like, well, it might be a little different than what she is in the comic. So I'm kind of worried about what they're actually going to let her do. Like from a power set, like that's the one that I'm hearing is it might be a little different. And I kind of wonder if that's the case or not.
Interesting. I had not heard this. So we're thinking maybe more in line to what Captain Marvel's doing. Possibly. I'm just
possibly
thinking about it for the first time. Instead of what we see her in the comics when she go like,
embiggens.
Yeah. Make her fists huge and stuff.
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, that's so like from like the what is it? Heroes Rising, the animated, is that what the one?
Yeah. Marvel Rising, yeah.
That one and like her and they build that in, there's an Avengers video game that's built around her as your entry character, and that's what she does is she gets large and pounds people with giant fists. Like I really have no idea. Like again, it's one of those things where I know Fantastic Four is right around the corner in the MCU, but I have zero issue with the idea of like her having those powers first, quote unquote, and then still getting Reed Richards. I don't have a problem with it. So when I hear that there might not be the same, I kind of go, you didn't really need to change it.
Yeah, I mean, I hadn't heard anything about it either. Like in my own speculation, I had suspected that they would probably change her origin. That was just my guess because like what is her origin hasn't really been a part of MCU per se. They tried some of it and it didn't stick. So I feel like they're not going to try it again.
No,
that's just that was my own speculation. So I could see kind of the origin change. We do see we do get a glimpse of something happening in this. What's this one? 11 seconds, Zach? How much footage is in this one?
It's 20.
Yeah. 20 seconds.
Short.
Oh, wow.
You see a reflection in the building windows, and that's all. That's the only hint we've seen so far of some power.
Again, that threw me because I was like, "Why would she be that high up?" But so I don't know.
Right?
Yeah, I don't know for sure. But like I said, I at this point the character's beloved and well established, so you better have a good reason as to why she's not doing what she's supposed to do.
But as far as like character personality, I think they've nailed it 100%. Like I cannot wait to see. I cannot wait to see this young woman play Kamala Khan.
Yeah.
I think she's going to be fantastic, and they look to really be hitting the heart of the character in that aspect.
Yes, all that stuff. That's the look and the tone. All that's and the actress. That all seems spot on. I'm fine with all that.
Yeah.
So,
all right, She-Hulk.
Yes, She-Hulk. Again, 11 seconds. Not a whole lot to go on. I mean, what we saw was cool. We have an idea of what we're getting, and we saw a little bit of her. At this point, I'm giving you my money every month. Don't be coy. Just show her.
Right.
Come on. I mean, like, it's gonna. Well, it's not going to be something revolutionary. We know what the character looks like. Just show her.
Right.
No, I think the reason behind that is, well, I can't. This is speculation.
Okay.
My brother was telling me about how on 4chan someone leaked a screening of it.
Yeah.
And it was like a test screening, so they saw none of the special effects with it.
Okay.
In which they saw a lot of green screening, but the actors wearing certain things in order to facilitate their look.
Or their height.
So I think, or their height, or I'm saying that because they show, due to, I know people don't like spoilers, but there are other characters involved that would be enhanced as well.
Sure.
So they weren't finished with the special effects portion of the editing. Right. So I think they're still not finished with it as well. That's all we got is a glimpse of her in
that scene's finished. Don't give me that.
Get out of here. Again.
Get out of here. Get out of here with that. That's one scene. It's finished. They're just milking it. It's finished. You already got my money. Just show her. Quit goofing around.
Possibly some fourth wall breaking.
Yeah.
Possibly.
Here.
That one. Yeah, that one "Don't Make Me Angry" scene I thought was maybe that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, some people are speculating that maybe it's a
TV commercial.
It's like a lawyer commercial or something for her, which it could be as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't. My guess is since we have we probably have 10 episodes as well as everything else, maybe 8
or less.
Maybe.
Yeah, it depends.
Between 6 and 10, I'd say.
I mean, I'm sure. Again, it's the most expensive probably out of all of them,
right?
Especially depending on how much Hulk or other characters you have in it.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I'm guessing we might get her. You know, that one line we get from Banner. You know, the Hulk telling her about how the transformations occur. I'm guessing we might get Savage for a moment.
Okay.
Just at the jump. It's interesting when you think about the fact, like I've told you all before that. Having read that early Savage stuff, that Morbius is important to her origin, not to her origin, but like with her first year of books about helping her get that under control.
Right.
With I'm not speculating that there's any kind of crossover. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying the fact that we have Morbius finally tangentially into the Marvel Cinematic Universe is kind of interesting. But yeah, I think it's going to be he's going to help her with that Savage side of things at first.
Okay.
Because it definitely looks like she's in some kind of containment unit.
Right. Yeah.
Being told
it's true.
Being told like, hey, listen, when you first transform, it's due to, rage or anger or whatever. And that's why. So I don't know, but that was my thought was like, she might be a little more savage than sensational at first.
I think the logo could use some work.
I like the old logo. The logo they had they had last year was much better. I don't know why they changed it.
But the new one, I think, is trying to look like a TV show logo,
like lawyer show.
Yeah, like a lawyer show logo. Yeah, right. I think that is what they're going for with it.
Is it also like the Lou Ferrigno Incredible Hulk font? Also,
I can't remember for sure about that
because it's like it is familiar somehow.
Yeah.
I didn't know if it was Lou Ferrigno or if it was like. But I'm like, is that LA Law? Like, what are they doing?
LA Law did the thing. Well, they had the trunk, the license plate that was the LA Law, but someone pointed out it looked like Nip Tuck.
Yeah, it does look like Nip Tuck a little bit.
Okay.
So that was, I was like, oh yeah, I guess it is.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So that's mine. It looked like, I know it's intentional, but it also looked like it looked a little like crap. We need to get something.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, I definitely like the other logo. I thought the other logo was cool. I think it worked better. But yeah, I just think it's one of those things where at least right now that that's been, the stuff that's going on at the moment with a lot of the stuff that they're doing, whether it's the movies or Disney Plus, is the idea that we're back at the rising action.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it's one of the things where I think, because again, I see reviews of stuff, and maybe not so much the TV shows, but the movies definitely is the idea of people don't seem to realize we had this huge, blowout, big battle in Endgame, and now it's back to the rising action of building stuff back up again. Yeah. And that's, we're on the tick upwards of the roller coaster for the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and people have to understand that.
Great point. Yeah, we're back in Act 1 again.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
exactly.
You're right.
And
100%.
And I use a sports analogy for it. I use the sports analogy of saying we're in a rebuilding year.
Right. Of course.
Absolutely. We had the gangbuster team.
Right.
And then, just because of how things go, we don't have that gangbuster team. So now we got to build the next one. And that's what we're doing.
You're absolutely right. Yep.
Yep.
No, that makes sense too.
All right. So, but speaking of logos, we did get, a couple of looks at some new shows that we didn't quite know were coming.
Mm-hmm.
Right. That's all we got for logos. Right.
Yeah, that is true. That's all they've given us so far on these.
Right. What do we got? We got Echo, right?
Yes. Which I feel like all it says in the description I'm reading is a series starring Alaqua Cox as Maya Lopez, who will be introduced in Hawkeye.
Yes.
So I feel like that's all we should say at this point, since Hawkeye is right around the corner.
Right.
No, we'll let that character be a surprise for you if you're not familiar with her.
Yes. Mm-hmm. It's a cool idea.
What else we got? We got Marvel Zombies, which is the What If spinoff.
Right. Yes. Yeah. So I assume that one will be animated in the What If style. Mm-hmm. That's my guess.
Okay.
We got Agatha, which I think there were some rumors about with Catherine Hahn spinning out of WandaVision, which I think will be great. Catherine Hahn was, of course, fantastic.
Yeah. I'm really curious about that one and what that's going to be and how much more
me too.
That side of, the mystical, magical side of the wonderful world of Marvel Cinematic Universe is going to be.
Yeah.
We got the one image of Black Snake Moan, Nick Fury.
From Secret Invasion.
Secret Invasion. That's all
from Secret Invasion.
That's all they gave us without an eye patch.
Yes.
Which again, I'm excited for that. It'll be interesting to see. I'm more excited to see obviously that side with the Skrulls, but as well as what we actually get cameo wise, who we get, as well as the fact that we didn't really get the kind of evil Skrulls really we haven't really had that yet, and I'm kind of surprised what we'll get out of that as well.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And then what's the big surprise one that I guess we didn't maybe we should have guessed that it was happening, maybe not. I don't know. What do you think?
To my freshman year?
Yeah. So this is one of those things. I'm not sure if it ever came up on the show. But Clifton, you've been talking about this as a possibility for 3 years.
Right.
Right.
Well, yeah, but this one's animated. This is animated.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah. This will be another Marvel Studios animated, along with What If and now Marvel Zombies coming, and I Am Groot, I assume, which again was announced last year. We still have a title card; it's still coming. But so this will be another Marvel Studios animated one, and I'm just curious to see if it'll be What If style, if that what we see as What If will be the Marvel Studios animation style, or if we will be getting a different style for this. I'm not sure. The only image that's ever been associated with this so far looks like a Steve Ditko drawing of scrawny puny Parker.
Right.
And so I don't know. And they say the art will have tribute to that. I don't know. It's just kind of unusual what I've heard about it. So I don't know.
I guess just to me, surprising in the sense that we are getting a Spider-Man show.
Right.
which was the thing that, like, but Marvel Studios has had the TV rights to Spider-Man for some time now, and the Sony deal is just for movies,
right? Ever since Spectacular ended, yeah,
right.
I'm not surprised we're getting it. I'm just surprised we're getting this one.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Again, Tom and I were talking about it the other day, and I said, I don't. I mean, it's all well and good, and I love Peter Parker in high school. But again, I just don't know if this is the one that we need.
Right.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I understand that people may want to see, well, how did he form the web shooters, and why did he decide to put on a red and blue sweatsuit that he doesn't before he gets his regular suit in Civil War? I mean, I guess they do.
Yeah, so it does seem to be like Untold Tales. It's basically like Untold Tales of MCU Spider-Man.
Right.
Leading up to and before he appeared in Civil War. Like, what was he doing before Civil War?
And it makes me wonder what villains can they use?
Right.
Right.
Yeah,
that was the other one I thought was my other first thought was like, well, you haven't really introduced. I mean, you've introduced a couple villains,
right?
But your classic roster, you can't. I mean, are they gonna? How are they gonna roll those out? Are we gonna get Smallville and they're gonna be like not in costume? Or
I'm certainly not gonna complain that we're getting it because I think it's gonna be awesome. But at the same time, Frank, I'm with you. Like I like the fact that we didn't see Uncle Ben and we didn't see that stuff, and I admired that they were doing it without having to tug on those strings so much. But we're getting a Spider-Man show. That's going to be awesome though. So I will watch for sure. Yeah. All right. So guys, let us know what was your favorite announcement from Disney Plus Day 2021. As always, we'll post links and examples to everything we talk about on letmeknowhowitis.com. Please remember to like us and follow us on social media, and we will see you next week. Until next time.